Hi there, welcome to today's video tutorial. My name is Michael. I'm a growth mindset coach and a positive psychology practitioner. In today's video tutorial, we're going to talk about confidence. Have you ever wondered why is it that some people seem to be full of confidence whereas others just don't? So are we lacking confidence or perhaps we are just missing some evidence? So in today's video tutorial, I'm going to provide you with answers to those questions. So let's just dive straight in. But before we start, I'd like to share with you this particular quote, which I came across some time ago, and I find it to be very, very meaningful. What it says here is that if you like to win, and you think you can't, it's almost certain you won't. So for you and I, for this in 2025 itself, we do have a set of goals that we want to achieve. So for us to move from where we are to where we want to be, in fact, that is the outcome of a series of changes. Because if we continue to do things the same way or doing the same thing, it is very unlikely that we'll get a different set of results. So in order for us to produce better, bigger, or even faster results that we want, it requires changes to how we are doing things at this point in time. And very specifically, it actually involves three different set of changes. So the first one is in terms of beliefs. So this relates to the narratives that we tell ourselves, our stories, and whether these stories are aligned with our goals and forwarding us towards where we want to be. And after that, there's feelings. So this is how we feel inside. So are we feeling confident or are we secretly doubting ourselves, procrastinating, or even questioning, do we actually have the ability to deliver what we want to achieve? And lastly, ownership. So ownership relates to how we show up on the daily basis, the things that we do, as well as the things that we are not doing. So essentially, for us to get from where we are to the goal that we want to be, it actually involves three fundamental sets of changes. And these are the mindset, emotions, and actions. So as you can see, in order for us to achieve the goals that we want, we actually need to overcome a series of changes. And this naturally requires a certain level of self-confidence. So now, how do we then develop self-confidence? So a lot of times we tend to believe that confidence is a result of one big leap. We tend to believe that we can actually develop confidence over a relatively short period of time. And the truth to that is not the case, and that is not true. From my own observation, in order for us to develop confidence, we actually need to do things in a very progressive manner. And what I mean by that is that we need to have micro or mini wins. So these mini wins are also what we call sometimes as milestones, short-term goals, or even small wins. And it is important for us to progressively stack up this series of small wins because it then teaches our brain and demonstrate to our brain that what is possible. And our brain begin to get familiarized with what we are capable of doing and what are some of these possibilities. And over time, this is what I call when we create positive evidences. And when this progresses over a period of time, it actually results to positive emotions. And that is where we start to feel good about ourselves and we will build confidence. So then how do we create this positive evidences? So as I mentioned, positive evidences are essentially your mini wins. And we can create positive evidences by learning and also by repetition. So what this means is that we can create small wins or mini wins through learning and through practices. And this is to leverage our brain's natural ability to learn, to adapt, and to change to new environment and new experiences in what the scientific term known as neuroplasticity. So in this case, we can create positive evidences through learning and through repetition. And by doing so, we create confidence by reinforcing again to our brain in terms of what we're capable of, what is possible, and this will change how we feel about ourselves, especially about the limiting emotions. So we build and create confidence by creating and reinforcing what is possible and change how we feel about ourselves. So now I'd like to invite you to practice these three simple steps where you can actually create your positive evidence. And these are science-based techniques which will take you about 10 minutes. So the first one is mini wins. Again, creating small goals, small wins to show to your brain what is possible. And this itself will create a positive cycle feedback loop that will reinforce self-trust. Next, visualization. And this is very important because visualization helps our brain to enhance performance through familiarity. So our brain can't create things that it can't see. So think about it. All the invention in this world, things that we use today, started off with a vision. So it is through that vision that the creator is able to create the final product or services that we are enjoying today. So similarly, picture yourself in terms of the day that you actually achieve your goals, and that will help you to drive positive emotions when you start to visualize yourself achieving the goals and start to believe that what is possible. And lastly, self-affirmation, because your words holds power. So when we face with challenges, a lot of times I see my clients sliding down the path of self-criticism, self-doubt, and we even sometimes put ourselves down. And I experienced that personally as well. So over here, my invitation is to exercise self-compassion. So if you find yourself going through this phase, what I'd like to invite you to do again is to treat yourself as if you would treat somebody that you love who are going through the same process. So in this case, it could be somebody that's close to you, or if you do have a child, imagine your child going through the same process or the same challenges. What and how will you guide this person? Okay, so with that, I'd like to leave you with this final quote that it says, nobody ever wins by believing that I can't. So with that, as usual, I'd love to hear from you in terms of your feedback or suggestions with regards to today's content. So give this a try and let me know what comes out for you. Thank you.